Exciting announcement today. Candace Owens' director, Mark Herman, is Antarctica bound, and he will be joining the final experiment this December at Union Glacier. For those who are new to TFE, I will give the entire backstory. Candace Owens is a political commentator in the United States, and she is consistently one of the top podcasts in the country. I checked Spotify this morning, and Candace was sitting at number 7. So here's what has transpired. Back in June, Candace went live on YouTube on a Sunday morning on her cell phone, and she briefly mentioned flat Earth. Here's a short clip from that video.
And a woman messaged me about the flat Earth theory, which I had never looked into. And she sent me all these links and she's like, you need to look into this, blah, blah, blah. And it's antithetical to the Bible and all of this stuff. And I saved the links and I was like, I'm going to watch this later. And my husband was like, why are you, why even bother looking into this? And I'm like, because I'm just genuinely, I'm a curious person. So if someone thinks anything, I have to read it and know what they believe, because faith is what drives people ultimately. But then when I said to him, I said to him, because I don't know if the earth is round or flat or an octagon or anything. Science is obviously a faith. And it's gotten so tricky that people don't appreciate that. They don't realize that they are the most faithful people ever. They think they're atheists. They think that they don't have a faith. They don't go to church. What are you talking about? You attend the Church of Science every single day.
And after this, flat earthers started reaching out to her. The next day, a flat earther reached out to her and encouraged her to check out Austin Whitsitt and Flat Earth Dave. Check it out.
Lastly, sharing with you one of the many, many flat earth Maneks that I've received since I did the live the other day. And again, I'm not subscribing to the flat earth theory at all. I just decided to read an article on it because why not? This person writes, hey, Candace, I heard you mention flat earth on your live today and I had to reach out. Please, I'm imploring you to continue down the flat earth rabbit hole because it's true. NASA has lied to us about the shape of our world, plain and simple. I believe the main reason being to separate us from God, because nobody would be able to deny him if people knew that we actually live in a place that necessitates the existence of a creator. Once you look, you will see that all of the evidence points to the earth being flat. The biggest indicators, in my mind, being the fact that we can see objects at a distance that should be hidden behind hundreds of feet by the curve of the earth. The fact that all modern technology assumes the earth is a flat topographical plane to function, airplanes, GPS, and the truly hilarious footage and abject lack of proof that we actually went to the moon. Reach out to YouTubers that have done the research for more information. And he offers some YouTubers. Thanks.
And a good friend of mine brought this to my attention. And I was excited because this is exactly why I created TFE. So many discussions in the flat earth debate, practically all of them, are really going nowhere. For example, the globe side says, sunsets prove the globe, end of story. And the flat earthers are like, no, they don't. Sunsets happen on a flat earth because when the sun gets far enough away, you can't see it anymore through the thick atmosphere. And the globe side will say, you can see the curvature of the earth when you get high enough. And the flat earthers will say, well, if there's any curvature, it's from a wide angle lens on the camera, creating a fisheye effect. And the globe side will say, well, these particular flight paths only make sense on a globe. And the flat earthers respond, well, these flight paths and these emergency landings only work on a flat earth. The list goes on and on. How are we going to get past this type of argumentation that doesn't really go anywhere? When are we going to do something new, since this is clearly not working? And that's the spirit behind TFE, actually doing an experiment together. And more importantly, making sure the two sides are not straw-manning each other. So I went out and found agreement from both sides on a specific issue, the 24-hour sun in Antarctica.
How you've all been indoctrinated. I was dragged into this kicking and screaming. Okay. I refuse to watch a 1-minute video. I ban people from our social media, from my podcast, for even suggesting that I look into flat earth, right? Dumbest thing ever. But then I was forced to look, and I was forced to look and I went in, not like, oh, I want to learn the truth. I went in, I'm going to disprove flat earth, prove the globe, and get rid of all of these idiots that are telling me flat earth is a thing, right? And for 2 weeks, Edward, I did not sleep. I was trying to find proof after proof. And what I found is anything that would prove the earth is a globe the globe science community lies about. For example, the 24-hour sun in Antarctica doesn't work on a flat earth. It works in the north, but not in the south.
And so no one needs to straw man the other side. And when I heard Candace say that she's a very curious person, as am I, and will probably now look into this flat earth debate, I thought she should definitely know about TFE. This is why I created the final experiment, to help cut through the noise and have something definitive people can point to as to why they believe the earth is either a globe or flat. And so I reached out to Candace myself to make her aware of TFE. Check it out.
All right, before we go, I have to tell you about this amazing thing that's going on. Okay, so this guy messages me, and this is what he says. His name is Will Duffy. He said, I heard you recently talking about the flat earth versus the globe debate. I'm a pastor from Colorado, and I've created something called the Final Experiment. It's a trip to Antarctica this December to settle the debate once and for all. It would be really cool if you and or George joined us in Antarctica. But if not, I would be more than happy to come on your show to talk about it. If you'd like more information, our website is thefinalexperiment.com. Thanks, Will.
Well, I did not anticipate what would happen. Candace Owens is sending her director with us to Antarctica. Mark Herman will be joining us and reporting back to Candace and her audience what we find while we're there. Now, I know Mark is super pumped to be going. Antarctica is truly a once-in-a-lifetime trip that the vast majority of people will never have the opportunity to do. We are very excited to have Mark aboard to be a neutral party who doesn't really have a dog in this fight. And he will be documenting the sun on his own, and whatever happens will be announced to Candace audience. I will be adding Mark to our Antarctica Bound tab on the TFE website. I will link to that below. But Mark is now the 9th person going to Antarctica specifically for the final experiment. And so this trip is turning out to be wildly more successful than I ever thought it would be. And I would like to mention one other thing, which is unrelated to TFE, but is going on in the flat earth and globe debate world. Another YouTuber, the Creaky Blinder from Wales, who most of you are probably familiar with, he's working on his own experiment, and it's called Project Curve. He has heard from so many flat earthers, as we all have, saying to globers, show me the curve. I've lost track of how many in the flat earth community have told me that instead of going to Antarctica, I just need to show them the curve. So Creaky is going to answer this challenge. Now, I don't know a ton of details about what he is doing. I just know that it will involve a weather balloon. He's raising funds, and if you want to know more about it, check out his channel. But I did contact Creaky, and I encouraged him to involve flat earthers in this. I have no idea if he will heed my advice or not, but I strongly encouraged him to do this. I want the spirit of TFE to live on and hopefully affect some permanent change in the world of these online science debates. And so working with those you disagree with is important if we truly want to make an impact and change hearts and minds. So if you are a flat earther and you are worried that Creaky might use a wide-angle lens creating a fisheye effect with his weather balloon, I want you to contact him and tell him what type of lens he needs to use for his project. Again, he's going to do whatever he wants, but I think if flat earthers did this and he did not take their advice, that would not be a good look on him. So let him know what kind of lens he needs to use so as to not create a curve with a lens where there may not be an actual curve, and I will personally encourage him to take your advice. We need a serious change, and we need the globe side to involve flat earthers in their experiments, and we need the flat earth side to involve globers in their experiments. I think TFE is breaking down that wall slowly but surely, and hopefully we will see more collaboration like this in the future. Thanks, everyone.